Starting on the 11th of April, US citizens can choose X as a non-binary gender marker on their passports. Applicants can self-select this option without the need for medical documentation. While many states offer this on driver's licenses, this is the first federal office to adopt this practice. The Department of Health and Human Services has also launched a new website with resources for LGBTQIA+ youth and their families. Link in our bio. HHS also spoke on the importance of gender-affirming care for transgender children to keep them safe both physically and mentally. Sounds like a W for the LGBTQIA+ community to me. Tab for a Cause has officially launched Tab for Ending Hunger. Tab for Ending Hunger supports Action Against Hunger, an organization working to end hunger and malnutrition around the world. Oh, that kind of action. What were you thinking? You know, like an action movie? In 2020, their programs reached over 13.1 million people in need. These programs cover nutrition, health, mental health, and other care. Other care or other hair? What? I wanted to give him another line. And that's the best you could come up with? Have you ever thought about how much fabric goes to waste in the clothing industry? Does anyone have a ruler? Fab Scrap is a textile reuse and recycling company. Since 2016, they've worked with 550 companies collecting their unwanted fabric to recycle and save it from landfills. They pick up an average of 6,000 pounds of textiles a week from their customers and decide what can be reused, recycled, or sold. Smaller scraps can even be sold to companies that shred it to use it as insulation or fabric stuffing. Is fabric stuffing what teddy bears eat on Thanksgiving? It's no secret that TikTok can change lives. And one way it does that is by introducing people to new forms of therapy. You cannot get therapy on TikTok. You're right, but it can open people's eyes to the possibilities of things they didn't even know existed, like art therapy. Art therapy? Like for times that words just don't cut it? Exactly. And Art Therapy IRL is teaching people that that's possible for them. And even some tips and tricks that people can try at home. So maybe this week's good news is that the internet can be and is being used for good. Wait, where's Action Against Hunger has changed the lives of people living through the drought in northwestern Kenya. The drought caused a group of mothers to lose entire harvests. This was because they depended on rain to grow crops. I didn't know rain had a green thumb. There wasn't a nearby source of water to irrigate the land. Luckily, Action Against Hunger provides more than just food. They were able to host a training to teach this group of women new agricultural techniques, while also repairing the community's only water pump and converting it to solar energy. Now they have a variety of vegetables to eat and rows of food growing in the garden. Couldn't they have grown like French fries or something? Last weekend, more than 1 million people marched at over 450 events for Bands Off Our Bodies. Some events even took place in countries around the world. At times like this, it's important to remember just how many people are out there supporting reproductive rights. In addition to the marches, 160 young artists have publicly voiced their support and their refusal to back down. We're proud to support Planned Parenthood and the Center for Reproductive Rights on Tab for Reproductive Health. Pride Month is coming up, but supporting and celebrating the LGBTQ community should be done year-round, which is why this week we want to talk about the movie Bros. Yo, I'm a bro? Well, the movie Bros stars Billy Eichner, and it's making history as the first major studio film to feature an entirely LGBTQ principal cast. While this movie is intended to be relatable and enjoyable for anyone, Eichner's main goal was to make a movie that felt authentic for the LGBTQ folks that it's about. What if they make one with women called Just Gals Being Pals? If they do, I sure would like to be in it. Today is the last day of Mental Health Awareness Month. Well, what if I'm aware of it 365 days a year? Well, that's why we wanted to highlight resources by My Destination, which is an account run by a Black queer therapist who's put together a whole website full of resources about finding a therapist, choosing the right therapist, and tons of other books, workbooks, and therapy funds. Therapy? Fun? I'm in. Therapy funds. Organizations helping to pay for the therapy of people in marginalized communities. She also has specific resources for finding a therapist for people within those marginalized communities. For more information, you should check her out on TikTok or go to mydestination.com. Reality TV. I thought this was supposed to be good news. Patience. Reality TV show Love Island UK has announced that in their next season, all the contestants will be wearing secondhand clothing. Oh, this shirt is secondhand. I took it from Alana. Reality TV shows often call on contestants to show up with a new, incredibly trendy wardrobe. So a lot of contestants will turn to inexpensive pieces that won't last them for very long beyond the length of the show. This will not only cut down on consumption by the contestants, but will also encourage viewers to shop secondhand, rather than trying to find and purchase the cheaply made clothing that they see on the show. Total greenhouse gas emissions in the EU have reached their lowest level since 1990. The overall reduction was 34% compared to the 1990 base year. Some of the key factors in this reduction include increased use of renewable energy, improvements in energy efficiency, and less use of fossil fuels. Okay, but why are we feeding the fossils anyway? I don't think they're very hungry. We have a long way to go in terms of greenhouse gas reduction, but it's encouraging to see that we're starting to move in the right direction. Barbie has released their first ever transgender doll. Happy Pride Month! The doll is modeled after actress Laverne Cox in honor of her 50th birthday. Laverne Cox was involved in the process of creating the doll, and said in an interview that it's a process of reclaiming her inner child, healing her, and giving her what she didn't have the first go around. While this doll is a collection item and probably won't be commonly played with among children, it's still exciting to see transgender representation in a company that is so influential for young people. The United States has found a way to create as many as 120,000 jobs, while also fighting climate change. These jobs would be to properly seal abandoned oil and gas wells. What do seals have to do with these wells? The other kind of seal, like to seal shut. These wells have the potential to leak methane into the atmosphere. So properly plugging them up will create jobs for the people doing it, while also keeping the methane out of the air we breathe.